Let's move on to our second lightning talk this morning with Donna Baki, Chief Commercial Officer with the Exploration Company. Please join me in welcoming Donna to the stage.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's the last day. I hope everyone is still alive, and we'll get you guys through the morning. Let me see. The slides are up. OK. So if I click, let's see if they're working, guys. How do I get the? There we go. All right. So I am the Chief Commercial Officer of the Exploration Company. The Exploration Company is an in-space logistics company based out of Europe. Our offices are in Munich, Bordeaux, and Torino. And we've now just opened an office in Houston. So we're very excited to be doing much more in the US, hopefully. We're a relatively young company. We're 3 years old, but we're growing quite quickly. We've secured over $750 million in contracts, both with private companies and CLDs and space agencies. And we're about 135 employees today and looking to scale the team further. So we really focus on everything logistics in space. We're starting off with a capsule for low Earth orbit that will be able to dock to station, starting with ISS and then moving on to the other commercial LEO destinations. In parallel, though, we've been working on a cryogenic propulsion engine that will take us to the moon. So the capsule with the engine will take us to Gateway to be able to hopefully dock to Gateway and then ultimately be able to land on the surface of the moon. So we think of our architecture as a modular one where when you build them together, you can get to different destinations. Now, all of our missions are really founded on 4 basic principles that are very core to the company. The first is that we really want space to be a cooperative effort, and we want to play a role in making it much more available to nations, companies, students than ever before. And so we've ensured that all of our capsules are launcher agnostic, and meaning that we can be launched by any heavy launcher. We're compatible with SpaceX, PSLV, and Ariane 6, and we're now looking at other options as well to be able to serve more of the world. We're also trying to be very, very attainable from a price standpoint. So our price point is quite significantly lower than what's available on the market otherwise, and we're very transparent about our pricing, so I'll share more as I go. And we're really trying to do it as sustainably as possible. We're measuring our life cycle assessment at every step of the way. We're integrating eco-design principles into the design of the capsules themselves. And for our propulsion, we're moving towards LOX methane engines so that we can try to reduce the impact of our work as much as possible. Now, we have several missions upcoming. We just had our first one go on the Ariane 6 launcher, our Ballistic Reentry demonstrator. Our next mission will be a mid-size capsule that will be launching on SpaceX Falcon 9 in 2025. And then the full-size capsule will be going in 2027. And I'll talk about each of them a little bit. But here is our Ballistic Reentry demonstrator that was just launched. We're very proud of the fact that we were able to go from design to qualification in only 9 months. And we were able to do it with $1 million and move quickly and get it out there. Now, unfortunately, it took us a bit longer to get into orbit. We had to wait for Ariane and others to be ready. But we ultimately did make it to orbit. So here are some photos of the team in Kourou integrating the capsule on to the Ariane 6 launcher. And we got some great shots in orbit. Everything went nominally. We were launched in orbit, but unfortunately, there was an anomaly with the Da Gama engine for Ariane 6, and they weren't able to inject us into our orbit to be able to re-enter. So we're still attached to the Ariane 6 launcher, and we're still orbiting for now. But we got some great data to begin with, and we de-risked a lot of what needed to be de-risked with the mission. So the next big one is our Midsize Capsule. Now, this is about a 2-ton capsule that can carry 300 kilos of payload that we've completely sold. So that is both pressurized and unpressurized payload, active and passive. And it's going to be a relatively short mission of about 3 hours in microgravity. We'll re-enter and will be retrieved off the coast of Hawaii. And so a lot of different types of clients on board this one. We have some space agencies, as well as some non-space companies that are sending lots of different cool scientific experiments, and some that have never sent anything up to space that are now dipping their toe into R&D in space, which we're really excited about. We're also carrying a lot of space technologies that want to do in-orbit demonstration of their technologies to hire their TRL. Now, this one, we were able to build in 2 years and with $20 million. So, one of the things that we've been able to demonstrate is the speed at which we're able to get things done and how we can remain on time and on cost. And this is really important because we're completely privately funded. And so we've needed to demonstrate to investors that we can actually deliver on what we've been promising over the years. So this is the capsule that is fully assembled. It is, in these photos, it's going through EVT testing at Airbus facilities in France. And we're now going to be integrating the payloads. So we'll be sending that to SpaceX by the end of the year for launch towards mid-2025. And then the big prize is the full capsule. Now, this one is a big one. It's a 10-ton capsule with 4-ton capacity payload. It's quite large, and it will have 2 different configurations. One will be docking that will go to ISS and other CLDs, and the other is free flying that can take long duration missions and all sorts of different types of payloads. So we can stay up to a year in orbit, but most of our missions will be about 2 months. And our first one will actually be in 2027. So we're working with ESA as well as all of the CLDs, but we're also partnering with all of the implementation partners that you've probably heard of, because we want to be able to have universal interfaces that work on both ends, with the clients and with our partners, to be able to serve everyone. Now, there's a lot of different types of use cases that could be interested in what we're doing with NEECs. There's cargo to the CLDs for up mass and down mass. But then there's also interesting use cases for non-CLDs. You have space agencies or space companies that might want to use our capsule to do some sort of in-orbit demonstration or in-orbit validation of their technology. We're quite affordable. And so we're now making it possible for companies that may not have considered it before to be able to use us to hire their TRL level. We also are carrying lots of different types of science. So agencies, research institutions, universities, non-space companies are looking to us to take their R&D up and back down. And we're particularly proud of the fact that we've been able to really engage the non-space community and companies that may not have considered space in the past to now start considering it. So we're taking some luxury companies' R&D up, some beauty care companies' R&D up, and are looking forward to doing more there. So as far as anchor clients, we've signed contracts with Axiom, Starlab, and VAST, but our first client that we'll be serving is ESA in 2024. You may or may not have heard that ESA opened up a competition last year for cargo up to ISS, and they were able to award up to 3 companies that contract, and ultimately they only awarded 2, one to us and one to Thales. So we're very proud of the fact that we were able to beat out some of the big players and make a mark on what's happening in the European ecosystem. But I think we're really relevant to a lot of the people here in the room, both from a space standpoint and from a science standpoint. So these are a few of the use cases that could be of interest to those here. We've taken up many different types of IOD, IOV missions. So it can be anything from propulsion, avionics, comms testing, you name it. We'll work with you to try to figure out a way for you to be able to demonstrate your technology in space. And likewise for anything that's science related. So there are a variety of use cases that we're already taking on our capsules, but we'd love to take as much science as possible up there. So, I mean, I think the people in the room probably know a lot more about the science in space than I do, but you know, we've taken everything from biology, cellular, plants, you know, we run the gamut there. Now, I think what's important for people to know is that we have options for both pressurized and unpressurized. The pricing between the two is slightly different. So we're at about $25,000 per kilo for pressurized payload and $20,000 per kilo for unpressurized payload, which compared to, you know, the option of the other options in the market is significantly more affordable. Now, it's not necessarily apples to apples with some of the options that are out there because we are completely autonomous. This does not include astronaut time. So the experiments would need to be completely self-contained, which most experiments usually are. And you know, the implementation partners in the room are very well versed on how most experiments can be done in that way. But it's still significantly more affordable than what's been possible in the past. So active payload and passive payload, both possible. If active, you would have access to power and data real time in, well, somewhat space real time is what I'd say, probably with a bit of a delay with the data. And the capsule would return. So we would retrieve your payload and return it to you, and then we would reuse the capsule after that. But that's not where we stop. We're then eyeing the moon. And so our timing for that is around 2029. And we'd love to also take science up for that mission as well. This lander is going to be larger than the current CLPS landers. So we're eyeing to have a payload capacity of about 2 to 3 tons, which enables us to bring down the cost to take things to surface as well. So our pricing for surface will be around $200,000 per kilo. So if you're thinking that far ahead, and if you have any lunar payloads that you'd like to discuss, please let us know. But we're already working with the current CLPS providers and the different space agencies on how we can play a role, not only for Gateway, but also lunar surface and return. So we'd love to be able to bring some of these samples back to Earth. You know, that's the ultimate vision of all of our vehicles, is to be able to come back. This is a video of our cryogenic engine, where the hot firing of our thrusters at DLR. I'm going to spare you the video because it's so loud, but we'd be happy to show it to you at our booth if you're interested. And I will stop there. We are in booth 13. Downstairs in the marketplace, and we'd really love to talk to you all, whether you're looking to send science, or you want to do some space demonstrations, or you think there's a way for us to partner. Really, the crux of what we want to do is to work together as a part of the ecosystem and really make a difference in what we're doing globally. For us, space is all about bringing people together here on Earth, and if we can play a part in what you're building, we would love that. So please find us, booth 13 downstairs.
Thank you so much, Dana. We're going to introduce our next panel in just 1 second, but we're still getting everyone mic'd up. We're not taking a break, so don't go anywhere, but just hold on 1 second. We'll be right back with you.